Hey y'all. So I wanted to talk a little bit about what's going on with class and with the current situation and how things are going to shift. So to start, as you know, ECU is moving to totally online instruction. With that being said, I have a few concerns about how smoothly this transition is going to happen. Mostly because Blackboard nor Canvas are set up to accommodate the entire university, depending on those platforms to get information to students, to process all these different assignments that people are going to be uploading and all this good stuff. So with that being said, if you are having some kind of technological issue, I need you to let me know about that as soon as possible. You can tell me via email. You can send me a kick. For those of you who haven't been reading the announcements, I made a kick. Kick is a social media platform that works very much like an instant messenger. Most of the time, if you are going to send me something on Kick, I'll be back with you within 5 to 10 minutes, unless I'm, asleep or driving or, I just don't have my phone on me for some reason. But you can find me on Kick. This is my username. It's miss.p _ from ECU. If you have a quick question that you want to ask, or if you just want to drop me a quick note about, my computer is messed up, I can't get internet access, I need to know these things as soon as possible so that we can figure out an alternative for you to get things turned in. So please, if you do have technological issues or any other concerns, please do get with me as soon as possible. With that being said, there is a discussion board up right now. I think it says something about questions about 2.1 or general questions. If you have a general question, like say you want to know when a due date is, or if short writing is still going to exist, or you have a kind of broad question about how many words your annotated bib reference should be, or something like that, please post those questions to the discussion board on Blackboard if you can. I want you guys to do that for two reasons. Number one, if you have a broad question about the class, chances are pretty good that some of your classmates have that same question, and that allows me to answer all of y'all's questions without repeating myself over and over and over. Number two, if you post the discussion board, that means that I'm not getting an email from you. I don't know about you guys, but I've been getting, as a faculty member, I've been getting about, anywhere from 5 to 30 emails a day, every day. So if, half of my students, I have 75-ish students. If half of my students email me a question in a period of a couple of days, that's adding another 40 or so emails to my inbox, and things get lost pretty quickly when you're trying to manage all of that. So if you have a very broad question, please do post that to the discussion board. Number one, so that I can answer that question for multiple people who may have the same question, and number two, so that my email does not get any more clogged than it already is. If you have a specific question, though, please do feel free to send me an email. If you have something that you want me to look at, or you have a question about a particular annotation in your work or something like that, then do send me an email with your question. I'm not telling you not to email me, but I'm telling you, if you send me an email about a due date, I'm not going to be very happy with you, because number one, the due dates are posted in multiple locations, and number two, that's a broad question that you could have posted to that discussion board. So please don't send me broad question emails. If you have something specific, please do email me or send me a kick message. I'm totally fine with that, but just try to avoid sending me broad questions via email. So just because my email is already a disaster. So I would greatly appreciate that. Sorry, I have a little list here of stuff that I want to hit, and I'm just making sure that I get to everything. Okay, so with the current situation also, y'all really do please be practicing that social distancing and things like that. Not just for your sake, but for the sake of others. If any of us contract the virus, chances are that we're going to feel fine for anywhere up to 2 weeks while we are carriers. Then we're going to feel like shit for 2 days and sit on our couch and be miserable, and then we're going to be fine again. if you're carrying the virus and you run across someone who's 85 years old, or someone who has an autoimmune problem, or a child, somebody that is going to have a more susceptible immune system, whereas you're going to be on your couch and feel like crap for a couple of days, you could potentially really, really hurt someone else, even if you feel well. So you just really, really do be practicing that social distancing. The government this morning came out with a lot of information saying that they think this is going to get way worse before it gets better. I would expect that this quarantine kind of situation is going to last for a minimum of another couple of months, a maximum of, I don't even want to speculate. I mean, we could be talking about a year or more, really. So just be aware that yeah, it sucks. Nobody wants to be in quarantine, but you going out among the general public when you don't need to, when you know, just to go do things is dangerous. It's dangerous for you. It's dangerous for other people. So just, you know, I know it sucks, but just do it. The social distancing. With that being said, there's no way that ECU is returning to face-to-face instruction this semester. It's just not going to happen. That hurts my heart. You all know how much I love my job, how much I love my students, and I really, really hate that I'm not going to see you guys again. But that just is what it is, and there's nothing that we can really do about that. So, okay, about some class stuff. First, for attendance. So the attendance that you had before we made this transition into online only, of course, is going to stand. It's going to count against you any days that you missed. If you had three absences or less, congratulations, you're not getting hurt at all. If you have 4+ absences, you're losing a third of a letter grade per absence. So if you had 6, to make the math easy, if you had 6 absences, you've lost a letter grade from your final course grade in this class. I don't think any of you stand at that point, so that's a good thing. As far as moving forward, I had planned on posting a video or two every week and to Blackboard and having you watch it, because in Blackboard I can see who watched the video and for how long they viewed it. So I was going to require that you watch a video in its entirety. That would be your attendance for the week. But because I am concerned about Blackboard crashing due to all this new traffic, I am posting these videos to YouTube. So I no longer have a way to check in and see if you're watching these videos. With that being said, you don't have to watch the videos. I strongly encourage you to watch the videos because they are going to hold vital information for class, and I'm going to keep them pretty short. But I have no way to enforce any kind of attendance moving forward, so attendance is pretty much done. Where you stood with physical attendance before we switched into this online platform is where you stand for attendance for this semester. So like I said, if you had 3 attendances or less, congratulations, you're getting absolutely no penalty. It's 100 as your attendance is part of your participation, so you got 100 for that aspect of participation. If you are, you know, missing more than 3 days, then those attendance, those absence issues are still gonna count against you. But moving forward, there is no attendance. As far as short writings, so as you know, the short writings are either on a reading that you did before that class day, or they're on class activities from that day, they're on class activities from the previous day. So short writings are getting a little bit tricky. For now, I am just canceling the remaining short writings that were left for this semester. I'm going to try to move them into a digital platform. So I'm going to try to shift them over so that they become discussion boards. But again, I'm kind of waiting to see what's going to happen with how Blackboard handles all this new traffic, because if it's becoming a thing where I've got, you know, 30% of my students are saying, I don't have internet access. Every time I try to log into Blackboard, it crashes. You know, just whatever. I'm having some kind of technological issue. I can't get in and do the assignment. And at the same time, Blackboard is not really accommodating all this new traffic. I'm not going to hold you responsible to post to a platform that is being very glitchy or that is just not working. So I'm kind of just holding out to see. I'll have more on moving short writings into discussion boards next week. for right now, they're canceled. If at the end of this week, the Blackboard seems like it's taking all this traffic pretty well, then we'll go from there, and I will come up with some kind of alternative to what the short writings were. I'm probably going to cut them in half. I think there were, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 remaining for the rest of the semester. It's probably going to turn into, you know, it being 2 or 3, maybe 4, but I doubt it. But like I said, more on that next week. I'm going to see how Blackboard handles everything this week. Okay, so for more pressing stuff, you should have started working on 1.2. I'm sorry, not on 1.2, on 2.1. Said that backwards. So 2.1, as we discussed in class, is the annotated bibliography plus the research proposal. So as of right now, the due date is remaining the same. This is another situation where I'm waiting till the end of the week. I'm going to see how things pan out. And if it looks like, you know, Blackboard can handle all this, then due date's probably going to stand. Or if, you know, it looks like half of my students don't have internet access, then we're going to have to reassess. So for now, the due date is still March 31st. It will be at 5 p.m. Instead of in class, obviously. And it will be due to Blackboard. I'll have more on that later as well. But as of right now, the due date stands. So for this week, when we came back from spring break, me and Miss Vanville had planned on me taking over class Tuesday and she taking over class Thursday, so that she wants an opportunity to teach occasionally too. So we kind of have these pre-built-in days that Miss Vanville takes over. So Miss Vanville had come up with a fantastic lesson plan about annotated bibliographies. It's very detailed. It's going to give you a lot of help and a lot of insight into what I'm asking you to do for this project. So go to Blackboard, go to the announcements. The instructions for what you're supposed to do for this week are in that announcement. Miss Banville has made up this lesson plan. If you have questions, you can contact her. You can contact me as usual. But it's pretty straightforward. Her directions are very clear. You're essentially going to go and post some stuff to the discussion board that's meant to ease the workload for you for this annotated bibliography. So doing this work is not only going to give you the lesson plan that of annotated bibliographies and why they're important, but it's also going to help you get set up to finish up your annotated bibliography, to do it fully, and to get that turned in by the due date. So this week is going to be annotated bib heavy. That's what you guys are going to be focusing on. And you have all week to do this assignment. Like I said, directions are in the announcements on Blackboard, and the final product is due Friday at 5 o'clock, this coming Friday, which is like the 28th. So the 28th at 5 o'clock. Same thing, due to Blackboard. It's going to be due to the discussion board, but you guys are smart. You'll figure it out. The instructions are very straightforward. So that's what we're doing this week. Next week, I'm going to talk a lot more about the research proposal so that we have time to do that. I will probably post that video Monday. Like I said too, depending on how things go, the due date for 2.1 may be pushed back. I'm just not sure about that yet, but we're going to see. More than likely, it's going to be pushed back. So don't stress out too much. If you don't know a whole lot about research proposals, I promise you it's simple. It's not going to be something that you're going to have to go and cite a whole lot of information, any of that. With that being said, if you go to the 2.1 tab in Blackboard, there is a sample annotated bibliography up for you that is just kind of supplementary to exactly what Miss Banville is showing you for this week. But if you want to see just another example of an annotated bib, go and check that out. There is also a sample paper proposal that is broken down with various subheadings, and it's very clear to the point. You can check that out as well. I will be putting up that video that breaks down that research proposal much more thoroughly, like I said, next week. Because this week I really do want you to focus on the annotated bib and getting that done. And then we'll move on into the research proposal. So just stay calm. Keep in touch with me. If you're having technological issues, please let me know as soon as possible. I really need to know if you're having tech issues. And just stay safe out there. Do practice that social distancing. Make sure you're washing your hands, all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys next week.